All right, today a topic about youth, to be specific, Indian youth, because I'm pretty sure Western culture, they will not relate to what I'm saying. Western culture is pretty, I don't know, a little crazy, but I'll speak to you. I'll give both the sides. Let me know your thoughts. In this video, I'll speak about education system. I'll speak about how the youth today is, I don't know, so confused, and what's next for the youth. So let me know your thoughts and your questions down below. I'm just giving you my opinion. So, and also be careful, it has a slightly adult theme, okay? Now, okay, let me surprise you by telling you this. I've told you, right? In my 30s, I had a girlfriend who was 17. Okay, she was going to be 18 in, I don't know what, 20 days, 15 days, and it's only just few days before she was going to be 18 that she told me her exact age. We met, I think, one and a half month before she was 18. That's the first time we actually met, and all the while I thought she was 18. Anyway, that was my first time. So now, even though that girl I was dating, this is 14 years ago, yeah, 14 years ago. Even though that girl I was dating, it was not the first time that I bumped into a 17, like you say, no, they are underage, as you call them. But here's something that will really surprise you. A girl who's 17 versus a girl who's 18. If I gave you a girl who's 17 and 18, both of them together, and I don't tell you the age, you'll not know the difference. And I'm not talking in a very sexual way or anything. Talk to them, a girl who's 17 and 18. How will you make out the difference? They both will blabber the same thing if they are friends. They'll talk the same thing. They'll look the same thing. In fact, even if you couple in a girl who's 16. Now, I'm not trying to justify having a physical relationship with someone who's 16. No, it is wrong by any standards. But we are talking of a very thin red line. It's a very gray area. 16, 17, 18. See, because here's the thing. Consider this. When a girl, or a guy, until he's 17 years, 11 months, 30 days, 31, then he becomes 18. So 17 years, 11 months, 30 days, he is considered underage. But one day later, he becomes an adult. Just one day, in 24 hours, you suddenly became an adult. And why do I bring this up? Because there are many places. If you're 18, you can drink alcohol. If you're 18, you can have sex. If you're 18, you can watch adult movies. Why? In that 24 hours, 17 years, 11 months, 30 days, you're a baby, and in 24 hours you became an adult? Doesn't make sense, right? I think this incident made me think when in Dublin there was this girl who couldn't go to the bar. She wanted to go to the bar to book for a party the next day, because the next day she was going to be 18. But when she went the day before to book the party, they said, sorry, you're underage. Even though she was 17 years, 11 months, 30 days, they said, no, tomorrow you become 18, tomorrow you can enter, not today. Even though she was booking the party, and she found it so obnoxious. The next day when she became 18, she wore, a very revealing dress, and she strode inside, and she was considered an adult. And she was drinking alcohol. Now the funny thing was, she was drinking alcohol at home even from the age of 16 or 15. She used to drink just beer, not the hard drinks. But after she became 18, she started with hard drinks, but under supervision. So in my mind, I was like, 24 hours before she was considered underage, 24 hours later she's considered an adult. So, what sense does it make? Seriously, what sense does it make? In fact, let me surprise you by telling you this. You know the girl I told you, no? When she was 17, she was with me. 17 years. I always hate it. Just 10 days before she becomes fucking, or 20 days before she becomes 18. Okay. After she became 18, she was the same girl. She was talking the same way. She was behaving the same way. In fact, after I bumped into her online, I think 10 years later, I found no fucking difference in her mentality. She was still the same fucking idiot. She was still behaving like a underage cunt. I mean, she was talking shit. Okay, that time, 14 years ago, yeah, I found very cute if the girl would say, "You're my Shanu, you're my Janu, you're my Chuchu, I want to give you kishu, and see this teddy bear, it's not breathing because it loves you." Okay, you'd find that cute and a gimmick and all that at 30. Okay, you're just trying to entertain. The girl is young. But when I met her after 10 years online, and she was giving me the same shit, the exact same shit. "You're my Shanu, you're my Janu, you're my Punu," and what the fuck are you talking, bitch? I was like, are you fucking retarded? You know, there are some people, even if they are fucking 40 years old, they still behave like choots. Choot means a fucking cunt. So what is the difference between a 17-year-old and a fucking 40-year-old? Or physical development? See, that is where we have a problem. And why am I bringing this problem first? About this age category. We give so much of importance to, when they're 17, when they're 18. I would say there are so many other variables to consider. So many. See, there are so many girls in third world countries. From the age of 9, they are made to work in the field. They're made to, buy and sell stuff, work with their parents in their business. Here in Thailand, you'll see small girls and boys, after school, they help their fathers buying and selling fish, frying chicken, sandwiches, and some of them help in the farming. Boys and girls, okay? School, you'll see their school dress, and they change and they do their work, and then they study while they are selling, sitting in the stall, in the stand or wherever. Now these people, they tend to have more maturity than the idiots who are these pampered kids who just go to college, carry expensive books, drive their father's fucking car, be on social media and show off. These kids who are actually fucking working in the real world, they have more fucking maturity, man. I was so fucking immature, so bloody immature, because my parents would lock me up in the fucking house. There was no internet. I didn't have phone. I didn't have a radio. I didn't have TV. I was locked in the fucking house. I was not even allowed to play outside. So how do you expect me to develop? The only thing that I had was imagination. They wouldn't even allow me to read books. Just school fucking books, which are boring. Thankfully, I used to borrow books from the school library, which were these, cartoonish kind of, I think, what was it? Eden Blyton or something. And historical books with diagrams and of the medieval Europe and America and all that. I would just read like as if it was a story. This king was there, he got murdered and all that. And I would go in the imaginative world. And I'd keep these books hidden from my parents, otherwise they would not allow me to read it. So when I ran away from home, or when I decided no more staying at home, and I went into the real world, I'll tell you, it was a fucking discovery. I was like, I didn't know how to talk, I didn't know how to behave, I didn't know how to act. I made so many fucking mistakes. I had access to money, I had access to freedom. And you could say it was like learning on the job. I was fucking learning on the job, man. And that's how I grew. But the problem with today's generation, the biggest fucking problem is the overexposure to over information, not just information, and not just information, it's like misleading information. You have access to so much information that it's become a drawback now. You have access to so much social media, so many distractions. It's like if you see this movie WALL-E. What's the movie WALL-E? Really a nice, great movie. When this robot kind of lands on this, I don't know, spaceship of sorts, you'll see these human beings, they're just lying down. They're just like jelly. They don't even have to move, just their fingers. And 24/7, there's something on their face. They can see social media, they can see. And ordering food is just click. They will see food will come in their mouth, drink will come in their mouth. Even shitting, everything is just lying down. So they're like jelly. They don't move. So today's generation is like that, in a virtual world. They have a fucking phone. They'll play PUBG. They'll play online games. When that is not there, they'll check Facebook. And that is not there, they'll be on Instagram. That is not there, they'll be checking YouTube. That is not there, they'll be checking blogs. That is not there, they'll be chatting. That is not there, they'll be in some WhatsApp group fucking fighting, arguing. And then the best part is, most of them, their confidence is like, wow, it's like sky high. They're confident, they are ready to even debate with from Elon Musk to Sadhguru to Jeff Bezos to any politician. They will argue, they will fight, they will battle it out. They will have protests like Greta Thunberg. They will demand change the political system. They will want new reformation. They would want new change. Oh, we want equal rights, climate change. But they can't sort out their own house. They can't earn to save their own ass. They can't pay their own bills, but they want to go and fucking change the world. That is why when I talk to any youngster, the minute I know the person's a youngster, I say, I don't give them respect. You have to earn my fucking respect. You start talking about, oh, cryptocurrency, man, oh, the index is going this way. Do you trade in commodities? Oh, I'm a fucking entrepreneur. Or where do you, oh, I operate from co-working spaces, co-active spaces. Oh, I'm organizing my venture capital, the first round of funding, and I'm going to create this global brand and operating online and a freelancer and entrepreneur. Yeah. Oh, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant. I don't take them seriously. Hey doggy, I don't take them seriously. You show me how much money you can fucking earn per month. You can earn fucking money per month, you got my respect. You can't earn fuckloads of money, or you can't pay even your own fucking bills. What the fuck are you talking? I'm not talking about rich. I have this guy, his name is Alex. He's a Malayali guy in Kerala. The boy pays his own bills. He works hard. Even purchased his own laptop with his own money. And he comes from a very poor, humble background. Doesn't have even the money to pay his own education, and is working hard to save money for his own education. I respect that kind of guy. That's called a real fucking man. And he's very leadership. When I asked him, what games do you play? Hey, no, Loy, I don't want to get into gaming because I'll waste my time. I don't want to get distracted. I just want to focus on money, take care of myself, take care of my family. In fact, do you know there are some youngsters who are busy working hard to save money for their sister's wedding? Young boys, 16, 17, 18. I respect these youngsters. Not the fucking bums who talk big and mother and father paying their fucking bills and they're sitting in the bedroom and boldly typing with guts, hiding behind a fucking wall of anonymity. In fact, let me surprise you by telling you, today's youngsters, I mean, don't be shocked when I tell you this. I've had girls, if you look at them, you'll say that they are the most innocent looking, decent girls. Proper upbringing, dressing up proper, well-mannered. Try to get them, if you win their trust and they decide to open up to you, you'll be shocked what is going through their heads. I've had these young girls. Would you believe a 13-year-old girl said, I fantasize about you? I was like, what? 13-year-old girl. I was like, how old are you? She's saying, I'm going to be 14. I said, excuse me, wait, let me understand this. You are 13. What are you doing on my social media? This was when? 6 years ago or more? No, more than that, 7. Okay, whenever. It was in Dubai. This girl sends me the message and she's telling me, I fantasize about you, you're my guy and this and that. And with the way she was talking itself, chatting, I knew that she was young. I was like, how old are you? She said, I'm going to be 14. I was like, what the fuck are you talking? I was like, does your mother and father know that? Oh yeah, they trust me. I have my own phone and I have my own account. I was shocked. I was like, what the fuck is it? I was like, sweetheart, listen. You shouldn't be talking to me, number one. Number two is, you shouldn't be having this kind of a conversation. And number three is, you and I cannot continue this conversation. Because I don't speak to underage children. I'll speak to your parents, that's okay. And I'm keeping a screenshot of this conversation because this is not appropriate by any means. And then to my shock and horror, she let me know that ever since she was a youngster, her uncle used to come and, you get what I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, what the fuck is going on, man? See, this is today's world. And it's not that just because the internet has come and this has happened, but now it has accelerated to the point where it's shocking. Like having children in the sex industry, it used to happen from ages. It's not something that has just started. You get small children who are introduced into the world of sex, and for them, they consider this normal. They consider this, okay, this grown man is going to have sex with me. I just have to make money and feed my parents. They don't know anything. For them, they feel this is normal, being sexually violated. It is sad, it's shocking, but this is the reality. So, but that was, at least people used to be ashamed about it. At least you couldn't advertise about it. At least you couldn't consider, have so much of access to so much of information where you felt it was normal. But today, when the parents are going to work and children have access to all the internet in the world, they get introduced to this world of pornography, to this world of, this twisted dark world, where for them they feel it's normal. I mean, I've had girls who are just 17, okay? Imagine, I'm just meeting, hi, how are you, and everything, we're just talking, and big fan of yours, okay, thank you. And the minute they are alone, and this girl was with me, we're just talking, and then she says, would you fuck me? I was like, huh? Seriously, I was like, what? I was just completely taken off guard. I was like, what did you just say? No, I just want to know, would you fuck me? I was like, what kind of question is that? Because it's completely taken off guard. I was you're talking of a really beautiful, very beautiful girl, very young. Okay, young looking means she looked petite. And I didn't have any intentions. I was just like, this is a girl, just talk. My mind never even went in that direction. And the way she was talking was, I was baffled with her, even her fucking guts. And she was like, no, I just want to know, what would you do to me? I had to excuse myself. I was like, whoa, wait, listen. Let me get back to you. I was so taken off guard. That was the first time I actually experienced something like that. It took me some time to, settle my brain down. I was completely in a state of shock. And once I sat down alone, I was reflecting what the fuck happened. I was like, fucking hell, man, this is crazy. In fact, when I speak to today's youth, I speak to so many of them. They give me stories one by one. You begin to listen to all of them and you think like, what the fuck is happening? I spoke to one Indian youth who booked my services. He was telling me about threesomes and he was telling me about swapping partners. And I was like, are you for real? And he was telling me, man, this goes on in our campus. There are girls who are even having sugar daddies and all that. And imagine you're talking of a respectable career like a doctor and they are offering sex for money. And it's not that they come from poor families. They just have these fantasies and they want to fulfill them. So we're living in a day and age where people have access to so much information, but it's fucking up people's head, man. And then the final part comes about this education system, which is another topic in itself. I'll speak to you in detail about it next time. But for now, I'll just summarize by telling you this much. There's always this question, is education worth it? Chemistry, maths, trigonometry, studying, like say Hindi, Marathi, whatever. Are you going to fucking use it? The fact is, the system of education is outdated. That's a fact. Today you don't need to memorize anything. You have Wikipedia. You can just check the information or Google. But then the question is, then if you don't study and you say no need for education, okay, what's the alternative? Give me the alternative. You don't study, you don't have a degree. What do? Go to someone and say, I'm an entrepreneur? Go to someone and say, yeah, I'll offer you services. But then what services will you offer? What makes you stand out? See, the truth is, someone who has a degree versus someone who doesn't make the person who doesn't have a degree dumb. I dropped out of school. I seem to be doing far more better than people with even some of them with PhDs. But then that is relative. It doesn't mean that every school dropout is doing fucking well. I know so many school dropouts whose life is totally fucked. They don't have a choice. I know what you'll say. Yeah, there are a lot of people who are with degrees who are unemployed and fucked. So it's relative. So now the question is, should you study? That also, should you be in a part of a system that is outdated? The answer I'll give you is very simple. When you don't have an option, follow protocol, follow the rules. The best education today is life, yes. But then, if you want to go through life, you are going to fucking suffer. It's going to make you cry, it's going to make you bleed, it's going to make you sleep hungry. You can't be on social fucking media, you can't be sitting on the internet, you can't be having a good time with your friends. You should be scrubbing the fucking toilets. You should be picking up people's luggage. You should be sleeping on the fucking floor. You should be eating food that is thrown in the dustbin. If you're ready to suffer like that for 5 years, 10 years, and that also with no guaranteed success after doing all that, that is real education. That is the education of life. Okay? So if you're ready to go through all that shit, then drop out of school. But if you're not ready to go through all that shit, then be grateful that you can at least fucking study. See, when you go to college, you have your friends, you can show off, you can talk, you can do all that bullshit. Enjoy, have fun. Your only focus is to study. And consider yourself fucking lucky that you can do all that. It's a fucking holiday. The last fucking holiday you'll have in your life. Last one. After which, you'll be thrown into the corporate world where initially it'll be fun, but later on it gets very fucking ugly. It gets very stressful. You'll literally miss your school days. You'll miss your college days. You'll miss the days where you're single and alone. You would wish to be back in school. I'll tell you, there's not a single person who I know, an adult, who doesn't wish he could go back to college, who could go back in time, who could go back to school. Because those are the most beautiful days of your life. The innocence, the happiness, the joy, the carefree. You'll never get it back. So I'm telling you, if you youngsters want one simple thing, I'll say, consider going to school and college a gift. Don't take it for granted. You'll never get those days back again. And if you do decide to give up college, then be ready to work as a cook, a cleaner, someone who works in McDonald's flipping burgers, a security guard, a forklift driver. And you might end up being that for the rest of your life. Because there you don't need a degree, you need skill. But then again, that doesn't mean you're going to succeed. I know quite a number of people who gave up college and today are regretting. I'm one of them. I regret leaving college. I regret never completing it. I wish I had a PhD. I really wish, a genuine PhD. I wish I had proper upbringing. I wish I'd made better choices. But then they say, no, if wishes were donkeys, wishes were horses, beggars would be riding them, right? There is a certain element of respect that you get by inculcating discipline, dedication, hard work. That is why the best schools are military schools, the best schools in the world. Get up at fucking 4 o'clock on time, go run, do exercise, come back, get fresh, eat food on time, keep everything proper and tidy. That life of discipline, Spartan discipline, will make you an incredible human being. So, anyway, I just wanted to share with you my thoughts about today's youth. It's really worrying. The choices, the distractions, the opportunities, the threats which they have. It's worse than before. Yes, it has opened up a great world of opportunities, from YouTube careers to vloggers, freelancers. But with that comes a dark, ugly side of temptations, of distractions, of destroying your life with just one mistake. Fucking hell, look at this spider. Ooh, it's a big fucking ass spider, man. Fucking hell. Ooh, spooky shit. Anyway, I just wanted to share this with you. Let me know your thoughts. I just thought I'd have this topic where just wanted to share with you the interaction with me and today's youth. If you like such topics, let me know. Put your questions and comments down below. I'll share with you whatever it is I know and can relate to. Alright, guys, take care. See this guy. He has his monkeys bringing the coconuts down. Alright, guys, take care. I don't know if you want to see my baby and all that. Should I show you my baby? You want to see? Hey, doggy. It's a new one. Hey, doggy. Doggy. My doggy has a new friend. Wait. Ah, boy. You want to see my baby? Where's my baby? Want to see? Still there? Where's baby? What are you doing? Come here. I don't want to show you inside the house. That is for later. Come. She's shy. Oh, she ran inside. Okay. Anyway, I'll show you my baby next time. Okay? Take care.